Welcome to the KR Films Entertainment channel. Bhouri is an Indian drama movie. This is the story of a village and not-for-Pradesh where the birth of a girl is no less than a curse. The story shows that when the beautiful girl gets married in this village, the men of the village somehow keep an eye on her house. Some influential people of the village make every effort to sleep with her. For this they come up with a morality explanation. There is a small village in the corner of the country. Most of the people in this village work as laborers and the brick kiln of Chowdhury Oddsby was saying in this killed in a man called Din, while 45 years old and lives alone in the house. He has no intention of getting married at the moment. He had already assumed that forever would remain unmarried. He would not get any girl, but the priest of the village got a girl for him. This girl's name is Bhouri. She is about 21-22 years old. People say that she is carrying bad luck with her always. Till date his marriage has been fixed. Thrice one in the pavilion he died of a heart attack. The second relationship after fixing the marriage could not even live until marriage day, and the third was the most unlucky. He died after falling from a horse on the day of his marriage. Then was wearing. There are 5 special quests, and among them there is someone special, that is Chowdhury Oddsby was saying. He has the only employer of the village. Most of the villagers work and his brick kiln. Soren, the manager of this kiln, is also special and itself, although he is one of the laborers, but now he has Chowdhury special man. He does nothing and is in the forefront of exploiting the workers. There was also a slave snake village priest who has done many abominable scandals in the name of religion. Every ritual of his is like that, only for the exploitation of the villagers. If he could snatch money from people, or his eyes are always on ladies from village. Each Lolo who runs the sab and the village is also one of the kind people like priest. He lands but does not hesitate, even scrape women's body for its recovery. Above all, the most evil Sangha is a doctor. Such a doctor cannot be the form of God at all. Out there is too young. Your brother's diet and Gopal has come as well in the wedding ceremony of Denmark. These brother by finding the band and his elder brother that they got it for Dan was such a young and beautiful girl, but he doesn't care about them. There was no movement in Danvers trousers. What will he do with such a beautiful girl? Chata, his brothers, are the 6th rascal of the village. There is no such girl in the village on whom they have not cast. On the day of marriage, when the people were busy and the ceremony maid took Byzantine, a man blade challenged girl near the village to the forest and raped her, fearing that she would tell anyone about it. They killed her and threw in the river with thought that they would survive as usual, but this time it was about rape as well as murder. It was difficult to shut the mouth of the villagers. Moreover, even the inspector was in conflict with Chowdhury. He seems to have a no down with him. The next day, Audrey took brothers to the temple to repent of the misdeeds. The inspector of the police station caught them in the temple itself, and when Chowdhury showed the attitude, inspector slapped on the cheek of Chowdhury in front of both the brothers. Later the inspector thrashed both of them and the police station so much that both of them gave the whole story. Then Chowdhury consulted the city lawyer for bail. The lawyer told him that the inspector has imposed such sections on his brothers that it is difficult to get bail, but one thing can be done. Some solution can be found by setting up early, and that will take more money outdoors. He had no money at the moment, but the Pandit gave them an idea that why should he not that money from the wages of the workers and the killed money will be easily arranged. Then about 300 labor is used to work in the kiln. If the stormy wages of all the laborers are deducted, then the money for a bribe during the judge will be enough. The laborers of the village cannot leave the work harder compulsion because there is no other kiln to do this work, and if any labor potters, then what is so informed when his hooliganism will work. The life of all the workers has become hell. Dude, the only half wages, then why is also one in them been done? While protest, he has to face unimaginable words from manager so and tell him to send his newly wedded wife to him for more money. On the other side is Lala, who wants to take advantage of Bhouri in exchange for giving goods on credit when Dan whacks Chaudhary for balance of way. Ages he had to listen chatter is bad words. The condition of the laborers is really bad due to the shortage of wages. Then why is not alone the son of a labor rotate? Well, it works with Denver is ill and he does not even have money to buy medicine. In such a situation Boot was wife Multi has to pay the bill by sleeping with the doctor for the treatment of her sign man. Bhouri tells them about this. Then he says that this is the fate of the poor. One has to do such a condo compulsion. It's not his fault. And thus the next day when done while goes to Chowdhury to ask for his due wages. Albreed tells him to send his wife to him. He will get the wages immediately. Denmark replied that he will not send his wife to him. Instead he will give up his wages. Due to this Chowdhury get mad and tells Soren and his man to beat him up. Then one was beaten up so badly by his man. However, then why did not die due to the beating but admitted to hospital. His condition was bad. The doctor applies ointment and bandaged his wounds, but the doctor handed over a big amount bill in the hopes of doing so he can take advantage of Bhouri like Multi, but he could not succeed in motto as she pay all his money by selling the grain lying in the house. People say that Bhouri is ambassador of bad luck. That's why dad and mom is in such a condition. The clouds of premature deaths start hovering over him after he married Bhouri. Bhouri has also started feeling this fact that she may bring bad luck. The one was like then one day she goes to the temple to meet the Pandits to find some solution for it. The Pandit tells her to solve this problem she will have to come to the temple alone at night. Penance is difficult. She should know first she has to come to him wearing only one garment. Bhouri tells about rich rules to her husband Denver. Then he says that if the disease was cured by performing rituals that no one will visit the doctor. He knows what is going on in the mind of the priest, so he tells that he will be fine on his own. She doesn't need to be worried about it. That night the priest waits for Bhouri for a long time, but he does not come to the temple. So Laura's making fun of Padden on this matter, but Sohan says that he fired Dun while because you would be compelled to send his wife to him, but Blair bought his grains and paid him money. She even paid doctor's bill and didn't come to the priest. All his hard work is gone and vain. But Law says this is not his fault and all the fall is done by doctor instead of caring. Then Worm, if he had given him such a medicine that would have killed him, then they would have been having fun with Bond today. Then the doctor says that he has a solution, just wait and see what he is going to do. The next day the doctor calls the meeting with the help of Chowdhury and does it in front of the entire village. An emergency is coming in the village. An epidemic is about to spread. He has a medical report in his hand. The doctor says that this is done last medical report. He has a disease called AIDS. The people of the village do not understand what the disease is, but there is a dangerous disease and the numbness. They have no idea how it spreads and what is the reason for it. How true the report is. The doctor and three say that then Weil has to be taken out of the village or else everyone will be killed by the infection. The whole village will become equal. This village is full of illiterate. Then all the people of the village break ties with them while he has cast out poor and while has to live in a hut outside the village. Then why did not even keep Bhouri with him. He distanced himself from her too. Somewhere she should not get any disease anyway. He has a severe cough. Denmark cannot do any work while living outside the village, but he have to eat to stay alive. That's why Bhouri has to work in the brick kiln, but people are looking at her like vulture in every visible part of her body. Monday, a boy from Mumbai comes to shoot a document on the laborers, making a documentary on the condition of the workers. A lady of the village cooks food for that boy, makes Bhouri get the job of cleaning his house because it was difficult for her to work in the kiln because of the vultures of the village. The boy, who came from Mumbai, was young and while looking after him his desire for him had increased. Boy has finished shooting for documentary. As he was ready to leave, there was raining heavily, so she accompanied him to his car to send him off. When they were on the way to the car, they both fall in love to each other. Vad That in the darkness of the night no one would have seen their love and romance, but a boy sees them hugging each other who worked for so, and the manager of killed the same night. He informs 5 of their villagers rascal about what happened. All 5 them was so furious that Bhouri has chosen the down boy instead of them there. Therefore the next day in front of the whole village the boy gets beaten up completely, and the meeting was organized on board on the charge of making bad name of the village. After this whole spectacle, then while also breaks up with Bhouri as she has cheated on him as Sudan adultery. Now it has become difficult for Bhouri to live in this village. Neither has she had any work nor the support of her husband. Then while she is the only alone and the whole village, after suffering alone in the village for a few days, she decides that now she will do what the people of the village want her to do. She sent message to Chu Honorary and all his man that he was ready to sleep with them, but for this she would charge 7 times more than the other girls, clearing the high price initially. None of the 5 pretends not to go near him, but the same night the 5 reached for his house one after another, but today only one of them can inaugurate Bhouri's new best. This which will pay the base of price will cut the ribbon. Lol, A has brought the most money here. That is the first night with Bhouri. He will be law that night bearer. He has a lot of fun with Bhouri. Everyone in the village was crazy about Bhouri, so when people came to know that Bhouri had started doing business, they started making efforts to sleep with her, even for 7 times more money. From the doctor to the priest and from the priest to the labor, the taste of the exterior went well. Every man of the village whose bad time with some other woman except his family members are offered Bhouri as soon as they got a chance. Now everything has become normal, but done while was forced to live outside the village. Knowing everything more, he sold his honor here. The lawyer told Audrey that the money should be settled before settlement. He will get the settlement done after paying the money. When it seemed that his brothers would get bail, the judge was trans for it and his money ran out. Then the lawyer says that he himself has a solution left for him as to how he can get them back by getting her grandmothers settled. But when Chowdhury goes to his grandmother, then she tells that the girl who was raped and killed by her brothers was her own child, was sent. He was the daughter of a Andrade. Chowdhury had illicit relations with the old lady's daughter-in-law when she was alive. She was pregnant from that as out relearned present. He was his own daughter. He dies from inside. He had given up his youth in the hope of having a child. Was Sunday may have been mentally ill, but she finally had a daughter. After this truth, he started living very silent. He doesn't talk to anyone. He was in deep depression. One day he died of mental stress. Nobody understood this, what had happened to Chowdhury all of a sudden, but even after his death the same rituals continue in the village which Chowdhury had left behind during his lifetime. The doctor's daughter has been ill for a few days. Even after trying different types of medicines, her disease kept increasing. There is always fever. When his blood sample is sent to town, he get bad news. Her dog has AIDS. How can this happen to her daughter? He beats up his daughter and asks with whom he has black on his face. Then she tells that very cyst and Chauvel had an affair in the clinic. When the doctor beats the assistant, you and with whom does he sleep? Then he tells that be used to go to Bhouri, that as he has got this disease from Bhouri. On hearing the name of Bhouri from Manuel mouth, the doctor's face gets blown away because he has had fun with Bhouri many times. This means that the other men of the village, Soren, Lolo, Padded and every man who has slapped with Bhouri are in the grip of his disease. The doctor knows that it cannot be cured. After some time him too fall ill and he will die. As time is passing, the number of sudden death and the villagers increasing. When this news came to media, there is an epidemic in the village. The blood of the dead bodies has tested. Out of 600 people, 150 people have been AIDS. It includes all men and women. When the villagers come to know that they have AIDS, which can definitely take their lives, they consider then was the culprit because the doctor had taken the name of down, was first person with the disease mind and why. Weil was sick few years ago when the crowd brought back done while by pulling and beating up him and his blood is checked, it is found out he doesn't have disease. That report was false at that time. The doctor read it in front of the village meeting and reality Bhouri had a disease not from then while but from a boy who had come from Mumbai to do documentaries. Shoot, the word spread and the entire village when it is found out the doctor lied that then while had AIDS the people of the village and to on the doctor and his friends, then the whole cow falls on them like a wolf. The police also gave exemption to the villagers. They killed the doctor Lolo Panda and so on by beating them, but on the other hand Denmark came to know that boy is also Belle the goes to see her, but by then she too has died. He was angry with Bhouri, but now he gave last tried a Bhouri with full respect, love and care. This entire a story is about karma, and what you sow you will reap same, even though little while you feel bad is whining, but ultimately truth will win and bad will lance. All blue like the story, and if you like it please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.